All right, let's start. Good evening and again, welcome to this August 10th, 2026 meeting of the Bluff Village Board of Trustees. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee El-Shamaz?
Here.
Trustee Freed? Trustee Hatch?
Here.
Trustee Renner? Trustee Ryder?
Here.
Thank you. Please stand and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flags of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We do not have awards and proclamations tonight. Our next item are the consideration of the minutes of a July 13, 2026 Village Board meeting. Is there a motion to approve these minutes?
Motion to approve.
Seconded.
Are there any changes or any mention on these minutes to staff? I didn't see anything either. It's a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And the motion carries. Thank you so much. Next item is our non-agenda items and visitors. The village board allocates up to 15 minutes for public comments on topics not listed on the agenda. Speakers are asked to limit their remarks to 5 minutes each. The board values public input, and if a comment raises a question or requires additional research, village staff will follow up outside of this meeting. This portion of the meeting is not intended for extended discussions, debate, or board deliberation, though the board may choose to respond or discuss a matter at its discretion. The board appreciates and welcomes public participation. I do not see anybody rushing to the lectern. I see one person going to the lectern. Please state your name, Peter, and your address.
Peter White, 400 East Sheridan Place. Drew, to you and your team, thank you so much for prompt and yeoman's effort on cleaning up the village after the big storm. It's quite a project. I know it's still going on, and we might get hit with another one tonight, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I hear that.
Just not on the agenda. Is there some reason, or can we get the video and minutes put up for the previous meeting? They're still not up. It's been nearly a month.
Okay.
And there's no notation of the committee of the whole meeting that was held at 6 p.m. tonight on the village website as I'm looking under agendas, minutes, packets, and videos.
What's there?
As to that second issue, I've had that problem on my phone. I know, Drew, I know you and I talked about this one time.
It's on my laptop. I can see it.
But I have had the issue before, when it's in one, when I look at it in one place, it's not there, but it is there. So you're on the website, on your computer?
Yeah.
You know what,
Oh, sorry.
Peter?
Yes.
I was late tonight because I forgot about it and I looked at the agenda and I didn't see it. And I talked to Drew and it was put, yet I was aware that this agenda was going to happen tonight. So my mistake, I was late because I followed.
So it didn't get posted. It was just oversight.
Correct. Okay.
But there's
I see it now on the website, and I see it in the other locations, so maybe Max can grab you, Peter, on your way out and try to understand exactly what we're talking about.
I think if you push all somehow.
Don't say it's open meetings act issue. Don't say
I went to board meetings, so.
Yeah.
it's
So you
Anyways,
have to see
It's right there.
Committee of the whole. If you click on village, because it's there now, because I clicked on village committee of the whole, there is a way to see them both. I know, I've had the same
Yeah,
problem.
if we could get them listed all in one.
They are if you click
All
the
right.
right thing.
But
I know.
the committee of the whole
Don't have- if you
is
select-
there. Are the minutes
select
and the
village.
video from last meeting up? Am I missing that too?
Last meeting was canceled.
I'm not seeing the
The
video.
village board meeting minutes were not approved until tonight, and that's when they're posted.
Okay, but
The village only had one meeting last month, so that's why there was a delay. They only approved it tonight, and it'll be posted this week.
Yeah, we didn't have a committee of
And the video?
No, two.
The video can go up before the minutes.
YouTube, it has not been linked to the website.
So you gotta go on YouTube? Okay, thank you.
Peter, I'll be happy to connect you with that information.
Well, so YouTube is more up to date than the village website, is what I hear.
Peter, I don't think he could hear you when you're not at the microphone. So,
I think I did, but it should be posted contemporaneously. So I'm unsure what you're not seeing, but Max or Shelton, please grab him and help him find the information.
Peter, we'll clean up our act on that and we'll post it as process. It seems to be like process, so it will appear on the website after tonight, okay? Now that we have approved it.
Peter, I remembered the issue that I was having. When you, at the very top of that menu, select village board, then you only get the village board meetings, not the committee of the whole. If you select no meeting at all, where it says select a meeting, if you refuse to do that, then they all come up. This made me late one time too.
It's okay. All right, thank you for the precision, Susan. Okay, let's move forward. Do we have any public comments online, Drew?
Anyone participating online who wants to speak to items not on tonight's agenda, now is the time. Please raise your hand. You'll be recognized. No one is raising their hand.
Okay, I say we move forward, and by that would be item 6. The village board sets the order of a meeting. The village president and board of trustees will entertain requests from anyone present on the order of business to be conducted tonight. I did not receive any request for tonight. Do we have anything, Drew? Nope. So we will proceed as published order of business. Next would be our village finance report, and that would be specifically for the warrants report for July 14, 27 and July 28 to August 10, 2026, and fiscal year 2026 payroll expenditures to date. Is there a motion to approve the warrants report?
So moved.
Second?
Thank you. Specifically, our warrants report tonight is for expenditure of village funds for payment of invoices in the amount of $87,148.58 for July 14 to July 27, 2026, and for expenditure of village funds for payments of invoices in the amount of $493,278.66 for July 28 to August 10th, 2026. And last, expenditure of village fund for payment of payroll in the amount of $442,749 for June 2026 for a total expenditures of $1,023,176.24. Is there any questions to Drew and staff on this item? I have one question. When I went through the ledger, I saw that we have a vendor called Lanner Machine, and I've never seen that.
Villages. Yeah, I'm sorry,
That's okay.
President Charlo, that's the village's labor council.
Okay, and that's the only question I have. Thank you. Any more questions to Drew? I do not see any more questions. It is a roll call. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Freed.
Aye.
Trustee Hatch.
Aye.
Trustee Renner. Aye. Trustee Ryder.
Aye.
Trustee El Shabazz.
aye.
Thank you. Next item is our June 2026 finance report. Would you mind taking this item?
Sure. So included was the June finance report. Sales tax revenues totaled $370,895, which was a decrease of $10,835 or 2.8% when compared to last year. June general fund revenues totaled $3,518,574, a decrease of 372,735 compared to the same period in 2026. So that decline is primarily due to year-end deferred revenues and accounting entries that remain pending with fiscal year in the audit, as well as lower year-to-date building permit revenue. FY '27 year-to-date expenditures total $1,972,531, an increase of $381,68 compared to the same period last year. So this increase reflects Village Hall improvement expenditures incurred during the year, as well as the timing of certain contractual payments that were made later last fiscal year. Overall spending remains consistent with budgeted operational expectations.
Thank you. I read attentively your report, and I was relieved to read the last line where we remain consistent with budgeted operational expectations, and we're suffering from a misalignment of revenue versus expense. Any question to?
So did you say the building permits were down?
Yes.
It's always interesting, I mean, you're always in your own bubble in the terrace where I'm living, there's been a lot of work, seems like building permits and things going on around the neighborhood, but I assume that that's not over the entire village.
Most of the revenue related to the condo construction happened last fiscal year, and that spiked
Gotcha,
things
gotcha,
in
thank you.
comparison to the one-off
Thank you.
permits.
Have you seen, maybe Trustee Renner, you recall the permit spike that Target left in the temporal examination of the revenues from building permits, but that fell off. It was pretty depressing for a while. The 120 blip helped for us for a little bit as well.
Very cool.
Back to status quo.
Back to status quo. Any more questions to Bettina? Thank you. So it is a voice vote. All in favor?
I'm,
Anyone opposed? Thank you, Bettina. Next would be our village administrator's report.
I was going to echo Mr. White's comments and thanking our Public Works for working very hard to clean up the community after a nasty storm. I'm disappointed hearing there may be another one in the works. I'll be back to greet that on Wednesday. But yeah, Public Works did a great amount of work, and they're still picking up a lot of the debris. So appreciate all their work, and that's all I have. Happy to answer any questions.
I will echo your comment because I was all in heart with Jake and your team, and I heard that your team works straight at 11 hours a day, per day, for quite a few days in a row. So you guys managed to clear up all the roadways the first day, did the essential for the power lines next, and you guys have been cleaning up basically what is our common areas in the village. So I'm extremely grateful to what you guys did. So thank you. Thank you to you and your team. And thank you for Matt also for making sure that nobody was hurt and that everything was fine to your team. So any more comments to our staff? Nope. Thank you, Drew. Anything more?
That is all.
That is all. Thank you. Next is our village attorney's report. Peter, what do you have for us?
No report tonight.
Awesome. Followed by my report. And one thing I would like to report on is we had our breakfast with our annual breakfast with the mayors. And so I will cite Joanna Rolek on this report saying, thank you to all who attended the village annual breakfast with the mayors. Guests heard updates on the latest happenings in Lake Forest and Lake Bluff from Lake Forest City Alderman John Powers. Dr. Mayor Tack was not available this year, standing for Mayor Tack and myself. And we had the opportunity to enjoy a wonderful networking opportunity with fellow community members and civic and business leaders. It was fun. It was informative. We had the chance to relate the state of our village. And boy, do we have things happening in our streets and constructions, and it was well received. And people did appreciate that we were transparent and we were trying to be as informative as possible to the state of our construction in our village. Drew, anything to add to that item?
No, it was well attended, well done.
Awesome. And that would be my report. Any questions from the board? Thank you. Next is our consent agenda. And our consent agenda tonight is item 11, the acceptance of a correspondence. The correspondence was delivered to the village board in the informational report on July 17, July 24, July 31st, and August 7, 2026. Item 12, a second reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 2 of Title 3 of the Lake Bluff Municipal Code regarding an automatic reduction in the number of liquor licenses. Is there a request to remove any of these items from the consent agenda? I do not see anybody asking. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Seconded.
Thank you. Any discussions on these items? I do not see any. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Hatch.
Aye.
Trustee Renner.
Aye.
Trustee Ryder.
Aye.
Trustee El-Shammaz.
Aye.
Trustee Fried.
Aye.
Thank you. And that brings us to our other business, that is item 13, an ordinance approving an economic incentive agreement between the Village of Lake Bluff and Ziegler Lake Forest LLC at 990 North Shore Drive. Is there a motion to approve this ordinance?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Thank you. And that would be, in April 2026, Ziegler Auto Group, the owner of Lake Forest Sports Car, informed the village that although it had alternative opportunities to relocate its operation to Hoffman Estates under more financially favorable terms, it was willing to continue operating and investing in its Lake Bluff dealership if the village were willing to enter into a sales sharing agreement generally consistent with the structure of a village previous economic incentive agreement with Target. Following preliminary discussions with village staff and adoption of a village fiscal year 2027 to 2028 budget, the Finance Committee considered Ziegler's request at its June 22, 2026 meeting. After discussion, the committee voted unanimously to recommend approval of an economic incentive agreement incorporating the following principal business terms. Number one, protection of the existing sales tax base. And that would be the village retains all existing sales tax revenue generating by the dealership, establishing a baseline equivalent to approximately 30 million in annual taxable sales. And that would be approximately $300,000 in annual village sales tax revenue. Number two, sharing of incremental revenue. Ziegler receives 100% of the incremental village sales tax generated between $300,000 and $600,000 annually. The village sales tax revenue generated above $600,000 will be then shared equally between the village and Ziegler. Number three, performance-based incentives. The agreement terminates upon the earlier of 15 years or a rebate equivalent to Ziegler's planned Pagani dealership build-out and ferry facility improvements. These considered anticipated in 2029 or at a total of $6.9 million. The agreement is retroactive to July 1st, 2026. In the event of an incurred default, rebate payments terminate automatically, and Ziegler must reimburse the village for a portion of previously paid incentives based upon the timing of a default. The village has historically used economic incentive agreements selectively to encourage significant private investments, retain key employers, and protect or expand the municipal tax base. While each agreement has been tailored to the unique circumstances of a project, the village has consistently applied several guiding principles. Number one, protect the village existing sales tax base through a defined baseline. Number 2, shared only revenues generated above that baseline. Number 3, require meaningful private investment and ongoing operational commitments. Number 4, limit village obligations to revenue actually received from the state of Illinois. And last, number 5, include appropriate remedies and repayment provisions if contractual obligations are not fulfilled. The proposed economic incentive agreement with Ziegler is consistent with these long-standing principles. The village attorney has completed review of the agreement and determined it is in a form acceptable for execution. Village staff will be available at Monday to present the agreement and answer any questions to the village board. Any questions to staff or to Peter? Rafi?
President Charlot, I don't have any questions. I just have a comment to make to Drew and his team about the percentage of sales tax incentive default. I think they did a really good job of making this mutually beneficial and then keeping them in our community for at least another 15 years. So, good job to the team. Good job, Drew.
I would second that comment. I believe that this agreement retains an employer and investment in our community, and also retains a prime dealership, a luxury dealership, and adds a second dealership with Pagani in addition to Ferrari. So thank you, Drew, and thank you to your team. Any comments?
Thank you for that. I just want to point out, a quick question for the attorney. There was a typo in the agenda listing this as an ordinance. It's actually a resolution. Just want to confirm that there's no procedural concerns, Peter.
No, that's fine.
Wonderful, thank you.
I have it as a resolution. So on the agenda item, it is a roll call. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Renner.
Aye.
Trustee Ryder.
Aye.
Trustee El-Shamas.
Aye.
Trustee Fried.
Aye.
Trustee Hatch.
Aye.
Thank you. Next item is item 14. Thank you very much. Item 14, that is a public hearing concerning an update to the village's affordable housing plan. As required by the Affordable Housing Planning and Appeal Act, the village must hold a public hearing by August 10, 2026 on the village affordable housing plan. Notice of his hearing was published in the Lake County News Sun on July 24, 2026. Staff will present a summary report and will be available to respond to questions at the hearing. At this point, do I just declare the hearing is open?
Yes.
Okay. So, so I hereby declare a public hearing open regarding our village affordable housing plan. And do we have comments from Drew next? No. Drew, do you have comments to follow this opening of the public hearing?
No, the only purpose of the public hearing is to satisfy the law. There is no reason to have any other comments if there's no one there from the public attending the meeting, either in person or via Zoom. Additionally, to my knowledge, the village has received no written comment in response to the notice. So really, it's just satisfying that legal requirement, and certainly the board can ask some questions as well as asking questions if they wish for the next agenda item,
Got
which
it.
is related.
Do we have any comments on the board for this public hearing first? No, I do not.
Let's see.
Suzanne?
No, I was wondering what the next agenda item is. Now I see. I'll wait.
Do we have any comments in the room for this public hearing?
I'll comment. I'll represent the public.
In its entirety. My understanding, correct me if I'm wrong.
Please state your
Oh,
name,
yeah,
sorry.
Peter White, 400 East Sheridan.
Thanks.
My understanding is we're legally obligated to submit this document to the state, is that correct?
That's the,
And once we submit it, are we legally obligated to, what are our legal obligations once it's submitted?
we've met the obligations under the statute once it's submitted, and IDA acknowledges that our plan satisfies the statute.
There's nothing incumbent on us to execute the plan?
We can't execute it, and, I mean, it's up to private developers, or we can't self-execute the plan. We've set the goals in the affordable housing plan. That's what the statute requires.
Okay.
And then
So the state can't come to us and say you have to build 250?
they cannot.
Okay. So I found this on the agenda Friday. I had a personal family issue come up, so I didn't do a full model, but I'll just make a couple comments. My understanding is that this is based on the area median income, which for this area is Lake County, not Lake Bluff. The state looks at the entire county. That amount is 121,000. The AMI for Lake Bluff is 204, but to fall under affordable, depending on the number of people in the household, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that range is extremely low, on the extreme low end for 4 people, 36,000 in income. On the high end, at full AMI, it's 121,000 for 4 people. You basically take 1/3 of the income dedicated to housing, which is a general rule of thumb. That gives you anywhere between, let's use 60, so 1/3 of that is 20. If it's 100, it's around 30. You're looking at building properties, new properties on a square foot basis for between $250 and $300 per square foot, which to me is pretty low. So I don't know how plausible it's gonna be able for us to meet in this environment with the land price, but maybe there's a way to do it. But my understanding, Mr. Friedman, is we submit the plan and then what happens, happens.
Correct, these are goals, targets.
Thank you for your time.
Sure.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you for your comments. Drew, do we have any comments online following this item?
Let me find out. Anybody participating in this call via Zoom wishes to be heard and participate in this public hearing, please just raise your hand and you'll be recognized at this time. No one is raising their hand.
Okay, thank you. If there are no more comments without objection on the board, I hereby declare this public hearing closed. And we are moving forward with item 15, that is a resolution approving an update to the village plans, to the village affordable housing plan. Is there a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Seconded.
Thank you. And specifically, that would be the Village of Lake Bluff maintains an affordable housing plan to comply with the Illinois Affordable Housing Planning and Appeal Act, while providing a strategic framework to expand housing opportunities for senior, the local workforce, and other residents in a manner that preserves the village character. As the village board may recall, the affordable housing plan, the plan, was updated twice in 2025. The first update, approved by the village board in February 2025, incorporated several minor revisions recommended by the village attorney. Subsequently, after receiving correspondence from the Illinois Housing Development Authority, IHDA, requiring the village to submit an updated plan by June 14, 2025, that included a public hearing as part of the adoption process, the village board approved 2 additional amendments to the plan. Number one, added the statutory definition of affordable housing as required by the Affordable Housing Planning and Appeal Act. Number two, updated the plan to acknowledge the adoption of a village comprehensive land use plan. These actions represented the third update to the village affordable housing plan since its original adoption approximately 20 years ago. Following submission of a 2025 plan, however, IHDA notified the village that several additions, revisions were necessary for the plan to fully comply with the Affordable Housing Planning and Appeal Act. Since that time, village staff has worked collaboratively with IHDA planning staff to address the remaining issues. As a result, staff recommends the following limited amendments. Number one, update the housing data to reflect the number of affordable housing units required for the village to qualify for exemption from Section 15 and 20 of the Affordable Housing Planning and Appeal Act. Number two, revise the plan affordable housing goals to conform to current statutory requirements. Number three, update the implementation schedule to provide that actions identified in the plan will commence within the first 24 months following adoption, consistent with the requirements of the Act. These recommended revisions are intended solely to bring the village's affordable housing plan into full compliance with state law. They do not authorize or approve any specific affordable housing development or commit the village to funding or construction any housing project. Village staff and village attorney will be available today, Monday, to answer any questions regarding the proposed amendments. Questions on the board?
I have questions on page 14 of the plan. I think maybe there's a typo, which is not what my question's about, but it's the third of four specific sites that are identified here. 1, 2, 3. The area 6, this is what I was just referencing, Jawa, near Jawa. But the top is labeled 2025 continued. I think should be plan continued, right? Or 2025 plan continued? I'm not sure what the 2025 reference is there, but, so just a typo before this goes to the printer or wherever it is these things go now. What I wanted to comment on is, in my recollection, which has been, I guess, about 5 or 6 years now on this board, we solicited RFPs again for this area. I recall having presentations by one that was kind of exciting. I remember who it was. And there's no reference to having done one since 2007.
One was not done. That was a cold solicitation from somebody interested in doing a project in our area.
I see. So we did not put out an RFP. I was
That is
thinking we had
correct.
spoken about doing so, but this one came out of the blue?
That is correct. There was the train station property conditional purchaser whose primary business objective was to develop senior housing in the Chicagoland area.
Oh, that's right. And so we were gonna do land swap, but there was some kind of, we won't develop the train station, but if you'll give us this land, I can't, just
was a
refresh my
land swap.
recollection. And so in 2007, it says that we got 2 bids, and the last phrase is, however, due to a shift in priorities, the village opted not to accept either of the proposals. 2007 is a long time ago now, but this property has always struck me as the most likely place we could really make a dent in senior affordable housing.
I was on the board when we had those presentations.
Oh, you were on the board, yeah.
To Virginia to to tour one of the developers' existing senior housing.
And so it's been almost 20 years. Sorry. 2007, by my calculation. My question is, how, if at all, do we move this or any other real progress forward? Is there a next step that you can think of? Is it a matter of creating the fund, the trust fund to which Ryan was referring?
I think all of these, if I may,
Yeah, please.
all of these locations within the village that are identified in this plan are listed because of the very reasons you cite. These are the opportunities that may exist in a community that is largely built out. So, to the point of addressing the statute and the requirements that every plan should have, one of the requirements is identifying potential sites. If you read this plan in totality, the takeaway is this is going to be really hard. And I think that was revealed in the committee of the whole conversation. But to your point, Trustee Ryder, yes, this is a site. The village is unique. And when you look at the other sites, is that we are the primary property owner. There are a couple little lots here and there that are not owned by us. One or two are privately held, and I think another couple are held by Lobola. But this is a site that is of substantial size that the village could, in fact, issue another RFP to test the market to see who's interested. That is a possibility. When the village did that back in the early 2000s, there was an extensive community involvement in planning that went into that. That is and remains a possibility if that is the direction of the board.
One of the things I would add is that with the one, being next to the West Terrace, there were a lot of community resident involvement particularly with the one main developer, with the height of the buildings, the density, how they would look from people's backyards. And I would say that, and we had a member of the West Terrace on the board who was leading community resident local involvement. We got to a point in the development of those drawings where the West Terrace said, okay, we can accept that. Now, it didn't go forward. What I'm saying is if we go out for an RFP, if the board decides to, that could be a very good template with what the residents gave us as what they wanted with the height of the buildings and the density, so that we might save ourselves the pain of the developer and the pain of this board, not going with something that the residents who lived there said, yeah, that final look is okay. The only thing else I would add is that from 2007 to now, the real estate market has changed a lot. It's more expensive to build, but more importantly, I think that there has been a shift. At that point, there wasn't a lot of interest, except for Stonebridge, there wasn't a lot of interest in building single-family adult homes with kids and stuff like that. I would say that my feeling in following the real estate market is that, unlike other places like Florida or whatever, Chicago has been underbuilt for the last 20 years, and now prices are going through the roof. There's bidding on property that's going up on the North Shore, multiple bids. So if this went out for RFP, I wonder if we limited it to senior housing.
Yeah.
Or if we just opened it up to residential mixed use, maybe seniors / again, I'm just spitballing here for the discussion purposes.
The one thing I would point out, Trustee Rimmer, correct me if I'm wrong, but this was senior market rate housing, not affordable.
Correct. But to the point of us moving quickly on establishing the trust and the sources of funding for senior housing before we issue RFPs, before we get our next development requests in, I think that sometime in the next couple of months, we ought to start to have discussions on that. Because if we line up the regulations, we line up the in lieu fees, even if someone came back and it wasn't affordable, either a portion of it could be or fees could be given to us to then build that house behind the post office with the money from that development. So we need to get this mechanism in place, I think, sooner than later.
And another point out, if I may, to compare it to the Lake Forest Senior Cottage project, the city of Lake Forest is underwriting the project by gifting the land. With the village's '07 call for proposals, and the final developer who was interested was going to pay market for the land.
Yeah, so.
Obviously, that was 2
Yeah.
decades ago, different situation,
Yeah, and
situation,
to
scenario.
that point, you could say, I'm just gonna make up a number, 11 acres by Jawa. 8 of them are for donation, and the other are remaining will be used from the funds to, there's all sorts of things we could do to develop senior housing, like keep a couple acres for ourselves, give the rest to a developer to do some single-family houses. But I think we ought to look at that.
I'm actually impressed that you can be on the board and remember the outcome of that meeting, where I was actually convinced that the committee was saying no, knowing that the community is actually amenable to this project under some conditions of height and vista to that development. I'm actually very happy to hear that.
It got very heated as developments, post-developments.
And I do remember that, actually.
To Rafi's earlier point, we do need community involvement, but I feel like the community is going to yawn when we say, what do you think about us spending some money down in Lake Forest? Unless there is a burning platform, look, we've got to come up with some senior affordable housing somewhere. This is one option, this would get us X. This is another option, this would get us Y. Then I think you get the community maybe more involved than you bargained for. But until there's, to Peter White's question, until there's anything that's driving us to do anything differently, we're just going to wait and see, as far as I can tell, and maybe invest in Lake Forest.
Senior housing will go better than affordable housing,
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure it would.
even though it's the same thing, but it's a different section of it.
Oh, well, yeah.
I mean, we still have two plots of land on North Avenue and
Yes.
Walnut, right? Walnut. And so this is the possibility for investment. I mean, we own the land.
So isn't that what we own on North Avenue and Walnut, isn't that missing middle possible investment property? I mean, didn't
Yes.
ask a very good question, but you understood what I was saying.
I did, yes.
So one thing I appreciate about you, Drew. It seems like that's kind of the type of property that the missing middle contest was about. Didn't we propose?
Infill lot development. adjacent to
Infill,
CBD.
right.
Yeah.
Because that could fit community partners, donations to community partners with an investment to donation and build up. We could fill a goal right there.
And then you could go to Lake Forest and ask for money.
No, we could ask Kathy to lead that effort.
Well, yeah, I think having some proposals to talk to the community about, and even if they are, nobody's actually proposed them, they're, in theory, if we could get this, if we could get a builder interested in X, what kind of input do you have about this idea? And I do think the real demand is senior affordable housing. Maybe that's just shows my demographic, but people able to stay here.
Well, affordable is the key. We've
Right.
got developments like the condo building, which
Right.
are targeted to Lake Forest and or Lake Beach, but those aren't affordable. Those
Right,
are
right,
For
right.
people who just want to simplify and downsize.
So I'm all for community involvement, but I think we have to have something for them to talk about rather than should we give some money to Lake Forest and get our name on the list.
So I want to make sure that we're still within the boundaries of item 15.
No, the plan.
Yeah, I think completely. It points out the proper sites are part of the plan.
But I guess, incorporated in a central business district is what we own on
Yes.
North Avenue? Yeah, it's
Yes.
in that block, but I mean, that presumes an awful lot of change, that whole big black outlined area on page 12. When what we're talking about is infill on, a third of a block or not even, right?
I think it's possible or probable that projects would be on a much smaller scale
In that area.
in that area, but it would not eliminate the concept should there be a large, like say Block 2 got done from Walnut to Oak, that there could be opportunity there, but that it's a much bigger area than just selecting individual lots. It would be very difficult to predict which lots make the most sense. So that's why it's a larger area for the plan and what could be contemplated in the village.
Okay. Any more comments, Susan? I mean, I think it's a very forward-looking and a very comprehensive thought to be had on the board. I don't think it's going to be solved next week or 2 weeks from now. I think it is a great plan, a great guideline to move forward. I think we need this plan. We need development for senior housing. That was probably the most, 8 years ago when I ran as a trustee and I walked to every house in the village. That was probably one of the two subjects that were always there in front of me. Development of Block 3 was number one, and senior housing, reconsidering how we develop a village was number two. So, I mean, I think this plan is a great next step. And we really have to discuss Block 2 or those two lots we have for what could be an application of a plan.
Okay, I promise I'm almost done. I'm done with this one comment. What's the harm in reaching out to community partners and saying, look at this property on North and Walnut. What can you conceive of here that might work?
We can talk to them for certain. If you recall, we did do an RFP for that property, and the general feedback from the development community was, let's think bigger. And that was really talking about Block 2, North Avenue, South to East Scranton, bookended by Walnut.
When
and
you
Oak.
say that property, was it both properties, Walnut and North?
Yes.
Or it was both of them?
Well, it was not the parking lot, which is the Walnut-owned property, and also the corner in the northwest, very tip there that touches Sherrod, that little quarter of an acre. It was really that 33 East North and the just west piece on the far corner of Block 2.
Not the Walnut House, where we're
Inclusive
storing
of the
stuff.
Walnut, yes.
Inclusive, oh, okay, yeah.
Drew, did
But
we
not- yeah.
Drew, did we put together a task force made up of the board to be a part of that at one point?
Yes.
Yes, we did.
We did.
We did. That was Susan and Kat, right?
Was it?
Task force for the property development, the Walnut House behind the post
That
office.
is correct.
It was me and Steve.
Yeah, okay. Kat and Steve, sorry about that.
As
Thank
well
you.
as some residents and members of the chair of the ABR and a member of the PCCBA.
Okay. All right. Any more questions to Drew on this subject? Any more thoughts? All right, I'm going to move forward with the voice vote. Hearing no comments. It's a roll call. Okay, it's a roll call. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Ryder.
Aye.
Trustee El-Shamas.
Aye.
Trustee Freed.
Aye.
Trustee Hatch.
Aye.
Trustee Renner.
Aye.
And the motion carries. Thank you very much. It's an important conversation, and it's a conversation that will move forward our community. Next item is item 16, a resolution granting a fireworks permit to the Lake Bluff Park District for the Lake Bluff Park District birthday bash. Is there a motion to approve this resolution?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. The Lake Bluff Park District is holding their birthday bash at Blair Park and the Lake Bluff Golf Course the evening of Saturday, September 19, 2026, and plans to set off fireworks as part of the celebration. Section 5-7-6-2 of the Village Municipal Code makes it unlawful to, at any time, sell, offer for sale, give away, possess, store, discharge, or otherwise use fireworks of any kind within the village, provided, however, that upon a permit being issued, therefore, by the Board of Trustees, fireworks may be stored and used for public exhibitions. Accordingly, the village board will need to issue a permit for fireworks to occur at the upcoming celebration. Issuance of a permit would be conditional upon receiving a signature on the application from an appropriate park district authority. Any questions to Drew or staff on this?
I have a question. I'm not putting anything in the requirements, just a question. Has the alternative use of drones instead of fireworks ever been discussed in town, or can it be part of future discussions? We have some people in the community with pets. We have some people that have individuals, with post-traumatic stress disorder and other things where fireworks can be upsetting. They also pose a risk of fire. I'm just asking, some communities have moved to all drone displays. They are more costly. They do require perfect wind conditions, but it might be something, and the aviation permits, for the town, but it might be something worth talking about for the future. They're kind of cool too.
I think it came up as part of the 250 celebration conversations. But yeah, yes is the short answer.
Okay.
And actually, that point of PTSD with residents and the fact of pets being afraid actually did come up every time we have talked about this type of permit.
Well, maybe the village just does a small study on cost and viability and how it might be done, just so we start to get some information for future.
The fireworks are extremely expensive, $1,000 a minute.
Wow.
Thank you. Any more comments, Drew, Rafi?
One comment, yeah, it looks like this is the same pyrotechnic operator as last year, the same company, and I appreciate the on-site safety plan that they always produce year over year. So I just wanted to highlight that as being something very important to me.
Thank you, Rafi. Any more comments, Kat, Suzanne, Shayna? Okay, thank you. It's a roll call vote. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee El-Shamas.
Aye.
Trustee Freed.
Aye.
Trustee Hatch.
Aye.
Trustee Renner.
Aye.
Trustee Ryder.
Aye.
Thank you. And the motion carries. Next would be item 17, our trustees' report. Do any trustee wish to make a report tonight? I do not see any reports being brought forward. We do not have an executive session tonight, correct, Drew?
Correct.
Correct. Next would be our adjournment. Could I please have a motion to adjourn tonight?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And we are adjourned. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who was in attendance tonight. Good night.